watching Thread Life with Belle. Her live show is starting soon. Quilting, teaching, sewing, making lovely things. Come on and join us. It's almost time for Thread Life with Belle. Yeah, I said the live show is starting soon, so keep your YouTubes tuned to Thread Life with Belle, with Belle, with Belle. On YouTube starting very soon, so stay tuned, Belle is getting ready for you. Quilting, teaching, sewing, making lovely things. Come on and join us. It's almost time for Thread Life with Belle. Yeah, I said the live show is starting soon, so keep your YouTubes tuned to Thread Life with Belle. Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life with Belle, starting soon.
Hey quilty friends, welcome to Thread Life with Belle on this Monday evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope you had a great weekend. We are going to do something fast and fun tonight. We are going to make these darling chapstick holders for your purse. They clip on your zipper inside your purse, so there's no more scrounging through the bottom of your purse to find your lipstick or your chapstick. So you guys don't know me that well to know this about me, but I have chapstick in every vehicle and almost every room in my house. I have them all the time, and I hate rummaging through the bottom of my purse. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to show you guys how to make these. They make great gifts. All you need are 2 pieces of fabric and the little lobster claw hook. And so it's all linked in the description box below, so you'll know the measurements. If you're in your studio and you want to cut your materials, you can, and then just order the little swivel lobster claw hooks. You'll be ready to go, and you can clip these inside your purse. You can make them as gifts for people throughout the year. I actually been making these for a while, and I sell them at the local art gallery along with some of my wall quilts and other things. They're just little quick souvenirs, and they've got the chapstick already in them. I use organic chapstick. So we're gonna make those tonight, y'all. Hello, everyone. So hello, Lori, Shelly, Christy, Megan, Royce. I'm glad you guys are here. All right. Well, I wanna give a huge shout out. I've written down, y'all, we have 8 Threadmaster members. 8 Threadmaster members. I've been on here 2 months. Started in April, and we just finished the month of May. And I think I've done maybe 12 or 13 lives. And so if you're wondering about what is Threadmaster, I have 2 levels of membership here, and there's Thread Sprouts, which is like $2.99 a month, and Threadmaster, which is $4.99 a month. It supports my channel. You get little, if you look in the chat, there's little stars, and they change color depending on how long you're a member. You can use emojis, and then if you're a Threadmaster, you're actually gonna get access to private videos. And I'm gonna show you the first one that's gonna be coming up for those of you 8 Threadmasters or anyone else who joins tonight, or anybody that joins and watches this recording. I'm gonna show you something fun. It is a pattern that I normally sell. So you guys are gonna get that for free as part of your membership, and I'm gonna show you, actually we're gonna do it together. I'm gonna show you how to make this. So I'll show that to you here in a few minutes. So I wanna shout out to the current Threadmasters. We've got Christy Riggs, Megan Murphy, Artisan Quilting, Kendra Harrow, Gina Smith, Shelly Runn, Susan Anderton, and Barbara Rosler. Yeah, so all 8 of you. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And the stickers should be arriving this week. So here's what I need you to do. So the way YouTube works, when you join the membership, it doesn't give me your email address or your mailing address. And I want to send those of you, at least I'm doing this for at least probably the first 6 months of launching the channel with this membership of Threadmaster. You're gonna get a free sewing machine sticker. So it's a sewing machine tattoo that says Thread Laugh with Belle. Those are gonna be in this week and I'll ship those out to you. So if what you'll do for me tonight, for those of you that are Threadmasters or become Threadmasters tonight, send me an email at belle@seamsewme.com with your mailing address, and that way I can get you a sticker when those come in the mail this week. And I'll show you here in a few minutes what the free video is going to be exclusively for the members. So it's not visible to the public, but just a little something that you get as a member, a Threadmaster member, okay? Quilt Husband has dropped that in the link for you below on the chat to let me, to tell you all what to do. Use my email and your mailing address, and this is all part of being a Threadmaster. Now the stickers that I'm going to be sending out to folks, that'll just come like in a regular little envelope, okay? All right. Oh, you're welcome, Shelly. Yes, so shout out to you guys for Threadmasters. That's another thing that happens when you're a Threadmaster, you get shout outs. And let me tell y'all, if you look at the bottom of my channel, all of your names are scrolled across the bottom of Thread Laugh with Belle channel to show that you're Threadmasters. So if you want to change your name to say your name, if you've got something like, you know, SR1234, now would be a good time to do that. All right. So love and support. Thanks so much for all your support of Thread Laugh with Belle. I really appreciate it. Okay. So a couple things I want to show y'all before we get started tonight on the chapstick holders. Okay. I don't know, for those of you that follow me on Facebook or Instagram, last month, Quilt Husband and I took a mosaic class. It's with glass. You cut the glass and you can make all kinds of things out of glass into mosaics. Well, we finished ours up this weekend. We were out of town, and I actually did a Friendship Blooms. Y'all know my Friendship Blooms pattern, the little flower, which is the flower that's around the center of this block here. Well, here's my mosaic, and it's my flower. I'll do an overhead in a minute, but this was my first time to do this. It's in Hot Springs, Arkansas. For those of you that are here in Arkansas, this is a really fun thing to do. You actually, this is just a piece of wood here, and you cut your own glass. It's really easy, and then you use like a cement, and you fill in all the cracks. And so this is actually hanging outside my studio now. Isn't that fun? Let me show you the overhead view of it. If you have a mosaic class, you know, in your area, I highly suggest doing it. It was a fun date night. It'd be fun to do with your friends. And I know I will be back. And y'all, I think what I'm gonna do, I have a mannequin. It's like a bust. And I think I'm gonna take this mannequin and do it all in glass. I think that's going to be my next project. It's going to probably take me a little while to finish, but you can kind of keep stuff there and go back and go back and go back. It's 25 bucks, 25 bucks. So I had to share that little win with you guys for something new that Belle tried, and I'm all about making lovely things. So this was my lovely thing that I made most recently. Okay, so for those of you that are Threadmasters and you're like, what are we going to be doing? Well, I'm going to show you guys how to make quilt journal covers. And this was one of my very first patterns. And these are some examples for you guys. So these are a great way to use up scraps or orphan blocks. And this is one here that I did. It's actually, I used my Baby Lock Sashiko for some big stitch here on this. This one I've had for a number of years, and you can make them scrappy, or you can do more organized, and that's kind of how I did this one. I'll show you in a minute. This one is a larger one, so I'm going to show you how to custom make it to any size. So you could do, if you wanted to make like a Bible cover, you could, or any kind of journal that you have. This is a journal that I have, and I got this one from Walgreens. This was actually where it all started. I did not like the cover of it, and I was like, you know what? I think I could make a cover for it. So after some experimenting, that's what I did, and this is like my most favorite one. It is completely scrappy, and this is actually an orphan block right here. This is an orphan block, and I just kind of piece it all together willy-nilly. There was actually a little hole, a little stain right here underneath here, so I appliqued on just a little round circle on here to kind of cover it up. So this is my most favorite, and it's got, like I said, the Sashiko stitching. I use that. And then here's one that I just whipped up. I finished it today, most of it. I've actually got to put the lining of the composition notebook in, but this is what is going to be the free members only class that you guys will have as Threadmaster. So this is the first one you'll have access to. So if you're not a Threadmaster and you want to become a Threadmaster, there is a link just literally on my YouTube channel below that says join, and it kind of tells you what to do. So this is the one I did. I'm going to the State Master Gardener Conference this coming up weekend. It'll be my first one, and there's a lot of education that happens, so you have to take a lot of notes. So I embroidered this on my little brother, you know, entry-level embroidery machine. It'll only do a 4x4. That's the biggest I can do. But I'm a beginner with machine embroidery. And I purchased this like 99-cent little watering bucket, and it said Master Gardener. I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I used my Janome, and I used a little decorative stitch. It's got little flowers around there. And then I used my Baby Lock Sashiko. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here so you can see that, to do some big stitches there. You can see that. That's it. So that is what we will be doing. Let's see, Lori, you have a class coming to Nashville. You're debating on doing it. Guess you'll have to look into it. What class are you talking about, Lori? Let me know what class you're talking about. Are you talking about a journal cover class? Yeah, you may want to do it in person if you've got one coming there. But anyway, this is my quilt journal pattern that I have here. And so this is what we're going to do. This one here. Here's actually the one I just showed you down here, but there's all different versions. I make them as gifts. I have notebooks for all kinds of things, and they're just so fun to make. They're fun to be able to give as gifts for people. So stay tuned. I'll be doing this probably within the next week to week and a half. Oh, the mosaic class. Okay, Lori, yeah, you should try doing it. It's a lot of fun. I don't know what they charge there, but it's super, super fun. We had a great time doing it. So the way this works is your composition notebook. Let me scoot this back out. Your composition notebook actually just fits right in here with this. You just lift it up and slide it in both sides there. Now what I do is I don't like all this writing. It kind of makes me anxious. So I actually line it with really pretty thick linen paper. And I just glue that in here on the sides, so that covers that up so that it's not peeking out here on the sides. So that is going to be for all of you Threadmasters coming up within the next week, and it'll be live, but the recording will be there for you if you can't join me live when we do that. So that'll be super fun for you all to do, and you can make them over and over and over and over again. All right. Okay, well, let's get started then on making these really cute lipstick, or I call them chapstick holders. It'll depend on how big your lipstick is. Let me grab a lipstick and see. You might have to change it up a little bit, but I'm a chapstick kind of girl, but it will also fit. I was pretty sure it would. It'll also fit your lipstick too. So this is a tube of lipstick I've got in there. Yeah. So it'll do lipstick too. Isn't that cute? Let me zoom in. You can make one of these in like 10 minutes, super fast. And it's got the little hook here, so it's linked in the description box for you. This swivels, and you attach it to the zipper of your purse. So let me grab mine and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm always losing my chapstick. And so this is the zipper here in my, I have like the dark hole. This is the dark hole, right? All the things way down in here. And so I'm like constantly digging for stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I need a little something, someplace to keep my chapstick handy. So it just attaches to the zipper pull here. You could use it for a backpack, any kind of purse or bag that has a zipper, or if you had like a little loop, some purses have a little loop you can attach it to, and this swivels so it kind of turns around. And I think what I linked for you below in the description box is, I think it comes in a pack of like maybe 24, and you can get silver, you can get brushed bronze, I think like a metallic pink. There's all kinds of colors that come with it, but it's the 3/4 inch one, okay? So I've linked that for you, and all you need is 2 pieces of fabric, and that's how that works. And I don't have to dig for it anymore. I can be driving in the car, reach over without looking, can feel it, and can get my chapstick. So that is how that works, y'all. So that is what we are gonna make tonight. Now, I like to use organic chapstick, and the one I use is the, let's see, it's called Earth's Daughter is the brand. This comes in a pack of 6 different chapsticks in here. And I just buy it in a pack of 6, and I think this whole pack is $9. So really, really helpful on that. And you'll just need 2 pieces of fabric here. So what you need is you need 1 6x8 inch rectangle and 1 1x3 inch rectangle. And then your swivel hook. That's it, y'all. 3 things. It's so easy. So easy. Hey, Eternity Homestead. Is it Jennifer? I think it's Jennifer. Is it Jennifer? Quilt husband? Trying to remember. Sometimes my memory is not the greatest. So those are what you need. If you want, you can cut yours right now with me if you're in your studio. Are you guys in your studio tonight? 6x8 inch rectangle, 1x3 inch rectangle. And then the thing about it is if you don't have your hook, you're not going to want to sew this on yet. So, you know, you could go ahead and cut your fabrics if you wanted, and you can sew part of this, but we can't do the final piece until you actually have your swivel hook. So for those of you watching this later, those are what you're going to need. You'll probably have to order these. Some of you might have them already, but this is made for the 3/4 inch here. And the way you measure that is just, the opening there, if you measure, this is a 1 inch square, it's 3/4 inch. So that's how you kind of know the sizes of these. And I've got silver, and then also this is the brushed, kind of the brushed metal, the brass. Really, this one goes better with my purse zipper, but the other one was what I stuck in there for now. All right, so the first thing we are gonna do is we're gonna go over to the pressing station, and I'm gonna show you the prep work involves after you cut it, you're pressing. So we're gonna press everything a certain way, and then we'll take it over to the sewing machine, and we're just gonna whip it up pretty quickly. All right, and at the very end today, I'm going to talk to you guys about this book. This is so you can find your local quilt shop anywhere throughout the entire country. So we're gonna kind of talk about that after we're done making this, okay? Hello, Miss JB. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is this your first time you've been with us? Or have you been here before? If not, welcome to Thread Life with Belle. We're glad you joined us. Okay, let's go over to the pressing station and get this pressed. It's this way. There we go, friends. There we go. We're gonna fold it this way and crease it. Then we're gonna fold to the middle crease line. Turn this around. We'll fold it again to the middle crease line. I was like, why does this look too short? Yep, folded it the wrong direction. So you fold it on the long end. Now we fold it over one more time and make sure that's even, because when we stitch this together, we really don't want to see the back of it coming to the front. So I usually kind of flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and add some starch to this. This is pineapple. Have y'all tried this before? Pineapple Grove by Flatter. Oh, it smells so good. I know some people are sensitive to smells, so it doesn't always work as well. Okay, I'm really trying to get this even because I don't want the underneath to show when we stitch this. All right, and we've got good crease lines. Now, you're gonna open it up, and then we're gonna fold over 1/4 inch on both ends here. All right, 1/4 inch. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it. We'll do that again on this end, 1/4 inch. And that way we don't have raw edges with this project here. Now we're going to fold it back the way it was. So just kind of tuck that under there. You might have to use a little starch on the end. Get that to lay over. We'll fold that way. We'll fold this one back in. Make sure those seams are tucked under. I'd say this is probably the trickiest part to it. It's still easy, but and there we go. Now we've got those edges under, and I'm going to give it one more press to keep all that in place. Make sure those are tucked under really well. So you're going to actually, I feel like I spend more of my time at the pressing station doing this prep work than anything else. Then, ooh, that's hot. I don't have my little fingers on. You know my little fingers, the little these things that protect your fingers when you're touching your fabric. These can be handy. Sometimes I forget to put them on. Okay, so now we've got that back in half. So I'm going to do another press. Make sure everything's tucked under. All right. Then, depending on the size of your tube of chapstick, so I'm going to grab both the chapstick and the lipstick. You can change this whatever works best for you. By the way, Sephora, that's a good lipstick and it's not as expensive as some of the other brand names. So you can just kind of eyeball about how much you want it to stick out. I use the chapstick, which is a little narrower, so and that's really what this pattern is for. But you can decide about how long. What I do is I actually just take an old one that I have, and I actually do it this way. And so I always have them the same length. I know exactly about how much it needs to be, which is about right there. So I'll just press that here. Okay, and then I'm just going to set this to the side for a sec. Now we're going to take this piece and same thing, we're going to fold it in half, but I'm going to use my little fingers this time so I don't burn them. We're going to fold that in half. Y'all, I've melted nail polish off from the steam sometimes from the iron. It gets so hot. So we'll fold that. We're going to fold this one in. We're doing the exact same thing, but just on a smaller piece. And I would say this is a little bit more fidgety because it's a much smaller piece to mess with. So just watch those fingers. Just press those over 1/4 inch on both sides. And I've got my steam on. And then we're going to fold it over like this. And we're going to press it again. Just make sure you've got those edges tucked under. Nice and flat. There we go. And then we're going to do another press. And if you need to, you may want to get like a clover clip and just keep it like this to keep it together. when you take it over to your sewing machine. Otherwise, it may want to kind of come undone after you've done all that nice pressing and everything, and keep it there. Okay, so let's go over to the sewing machine and we're going to put this together. Let me grab my claw hook. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've got this handy, so I just kind of have to keep it to the side. And I usually stitch on a 2mm stitch length. So I'm just going to kind of keep that over there. And you can decide where you want to start on this. But I usually start down here at the bottom. And really, I probably should be using black thread, but this has got white in it. Let me do a lock stitch. Okay. And I'll just start there. And you'll just top stitch all the way around. Now, I'm going to turn off my lock stitch because I really should reverse. You really want to reverse if you can. Oh, I just cut the thread accidentally. You're going to really want to reverse if you can, right there. Well, it would help if I had my setting on my machine better because it wants to cut the thread off and not back stitch. Sometimes fancy machines, until you get used to them, it's like, oh. There we go. Okay. I had to turn that setting off, that feature off, where it did the lock stitch. And then you're going to pivot. Now, I use my little stiletto here. Make sure all of that is tucked in under there. And you're going to grab this piece. And you're going to stick it inside there. There's that little opening in there. Stick it in there in the center. I'm just going to cut that so you guys can see it better. I'm afraid you're not going to be able to see my hand's going to be in the way. You're going to open that up and stick that right there. And you can put it about the length that you want to here. Just kind of figure out where that is. I think I'm going to put it about right there. That's got to go on there first. Your little hanger, I guess you could call that. We'll open that up. Stick it down in there. Make sure I'm happy with it and that it's centered. And then I'm going to go and just stitch it down. And we'll pivot and just come down the side. You can back stitch over that if you want, hold it down. And I go ahead and come down all the way across the bottom. You don't have to because that's closed, but I'll just go ahead and stitch it all the way across the bottom. There we go. It's that easy, and then you just trim your threads. Now, I think it would have looked better if I used black thread because that white thread kind of stands out quite a bit, but you can see that's it. And then we'll just put our chapstick in there. Let me grab the chapstick. There we go. Just stick it right in there, and it's ready to hang on your purse. Hey, Brenda, welcome. Hello, Anita. Just now catching up over here in the chat. Yeah, Lori, it does. The book has the thread that I'm going to, has an app. I'm going to show you guys about that in a little bit. That's it. That's how easy it is. Yeah, so if I did it all over again, I probably you would have used black thread, but I already had white thread in there. And they make great little gifts for people or for yourself. Yeah, so here's some examples there for you. That's it. Now you won't lose your chapstick or your lipstick in your bag anymore. It's just super handy and easy for you. All right, so that was it. That was the class tonight. That was the how-to. It was something quick and easy. Nothing majorly complicated there. All right. Yard work's taking up your time, Brenda. Yeah, I know. It definitely does for sure. We've definitely got a lot of mowing to do. Okay, here's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. This book here. It is called the Needle Travel Book here, and it's pretty thick. I got this when I was at H&H Americas, and I want to kind of show you. So it's only $9.95, and you can get these at your local quilt shop. I think Quilt Husband's going to put the link in there for you. But it's your guide. It's for quilting. It's for knitting, needlepoint, crocheting, weaving, spinning, cross-stitch, and embroidery stores across the United States. So the link's there for you below, and it's super cheap for a book this thick. And I'll show you kind of how it's laid out in here. I met, I forget her name. Did I put her name, her card in here? I don't remember if I did, but the lady that puts it all together, I met her at H&H Americas, and she kind of gave me the information to actually advertise in here for my retreat center. Excuse me. And the nice thing is you've got an app. So on your phone, you can download, it's called Needle Travel. You can download the app for those of you that like to travel. So when you find yourself in a town, wherever that may be, you're RVing or whatever, you can take this with you, or like I said, use the app if you don't want to take the book. And you can just, oh, I am in such and such town, and I wonder if there is one of these kind of shops, quilt shops, embroidery, you know, whatever it is, yarn, all of that kind of stuff. And you can actually find the shops on your phone, which is really nice, and it's free. And then in the middle here, you've got the colored pages. This is the advertising. So my friends at Aliso, they've got it in there. I'm going to put my quilt retreats center in here in the middle. It'll be in color. So that was kind of how I found out about this. I don't know how I didn't know about this. I've been doing this now only, well, for 5 years, but I feel like that's long enough to have found this book, and I didn't know about it. So let's look here at Arkansas just to kind of show you kind of how it's laid out. So first off, what they have is they have the layout of the map of your state. And they've got the towns with the little dots that kind of show you that there are quilt shops there in those areas. So you can look here, and then what happens is it'll say, this says Arkansas, and then let me zoom in just a little bit. Okay. Can you see that better? I don't know if you can read it really well or not. It's got the name of the town, and then underneath that, it's got the address of the quilt shop, and then it's also got their phone number. So you could call to make sure you could find out what their hours are before you show up on there. Now, I noticed with all of this, it doesn't have their, most of them don't, I say most of them don't have a website. A few of them do. Like there's one in Benton, Johnson's Home Center, they actually have their website on there. So the ones that have websites do, but I noticed that a lot of them didn't. They mainly had a phone number. And so for Arkansas, there's only really 2.5 pages here for that. But that's how they're laid out. So you can look at your state, and then even in California, they've got it divided up into kind of, what do they have Atlanta for? Is there an Atlanta in California? There must be. Unless that was a mistake. Is there an Atlanta in California, babe? That's kind of weird. But there's Duluth. So I don't know. Maybe there is, and I just didn't know that. But they've got it divided up. This is Northern California, San Francisco area, North Central California, Los Angeles. So for the larger states like this, they really have it divided up into different sections within the book. And then of course, when you go to it, like here's Florida. There's a lot in Florida. There are a lot of quilters in Florida. Look how many pages there are in Florida. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 pages for Florida. There's a lot there. So I wanted to share this with you guys. I got this one, and then I haven't downloaded the app yet. I'm going to. This is the 2025 version. They print it every October. And so, you know, if you got one now, you would still have a pretty current one. They don't change a whole lot. But if you want to wait till October, you can, but it's called Needle Travel. And like I said, there's an app. They're based out of Ohio. And the lady that puts all this together was super nice, and she kind of explained it all to me and all of that. So that is a resource for you guys that are on the road and just want to check out different quilt shops when you're on vacation, especially this summer. I was like, I need to tell y'all about this if you didn't know about it. Because when you're on vacation, rather than having to Google and find out where, you know, where all the places are and write them all down and chart your course, you actually can just take the little book with you, or better yet, just use the app on your telephone or on your cell phone. Makes it easy. All right, so that's what I've got for you guys. Is that anything else? I'm trying to think. Oh, yes, I do have something else for you. So, Hobbs batting. Do y'all use Hobbs? Tell me what kind of batting. Hey, Lisa, what batting do you guys use? Tell me in the chat. I am using Hobbs, and they sent me 3 massive rolls that are almost as tall as me, because, you know, I'm getting a long arm, which has been delayed. It was supposed to be here next week, but they had a conflict, so we're having to reschedule that. So now I don't know exactly when it's going to be here, and they're going to come set it up. I think it's going to be a handy quilter. But it's got the Butler robotics system. So Butler Robotics actually is who I'm working with, and that will be where I can do edge to edge. Well, when my friend Stephanie at Hobbs, I was telling her about it, she's like, hey, we'd love to sponsor your adventure. Let us send you, you know, some of this batting. But here's what they did. They sent me the 80-20 and then the wool. So when you combine those two together, it shows your quilting really, really well. And they sent an extra 80-20 to go to the retreat center. So for those of you that come to the retreat center, you can actually cut off and use batting for your projects that you're actually working on there. Isn't that nice? That was so sweet of them. Well, here's the cool thing. So she sent me this little, what do you want to call it? A sampler, with a little sampler. And there's an extra one. There's 2. You've never tried Hobbs, Lisa? Yeah, they've got some good batting. I've actually used different ones. I've used Warm and Natural. I've used Quilter's Dream, and I've also used Hobbs. And they've been really super supportive with a lot of my projects and stuff. And there's some of theirs I have not tried that I'm excited to try. They even have the black, which I know a lot of them do. So in this one, you've got, here's some of the options for you guys on Hobbs. I want you to know. You've got the natural with scrim. So that's this first one here. And I know you can't feel it and all that good stuff, but you can get their samples, I believe. And I want to tell you, Stephanie's coming. I'm going to be hosting a Zoom for all of my email subscribers. So y'all make sure you're on my email subscriber list. Because this won't be on YouTube. It will be a private YouTube that I'm doing for my subscribers only. And Stephanie will be doing an education session. It lasts about an hour to an hour and a half. And she literally goes through and does all the education on why you would use some batting over other batting, what it's good for. She did it about 3 years ago. I watched her do it 3 years ago, and I learned a lot, but I always forget. So this was helpful to have this. So I will have Quilt Husband drop my subscriber link in there for you guys. You can actually just subscribe on my website, and if you're not on there, that's where it will be announced on the day and all of that stuff that's going to happen. It'll be later this summer when she's not traveling as much, and it'll be to be free to everyone. So you've got the natural with the scrim. You've got the heirloom and Tuscany. This is the bleached cotton. Then you've got the Heirloom and Tuscany unbleached cotton. So this is more of the lighter cream color, which I tend to use more because I don't use a lot of white, like solid white. Then you've got the 80-20. So here's the 80-20. Then you've got the 80-20 black cotton blend. They've got 80-20 bleached cotton blend. Then there's fusible. Now I have not tried fusible cotton, but I'm going to. I actually have some, they have the jelly roll strips that are the fusible batting already put together. Let me grab one and I'll show it to you. Because I'm gonna make a jelly roll rug at some point with all that free time I don't have. So this is what it looks like. This is the fusible batting strips. They're already cut into, this is 2 1/4 inches here. And you use it with 2 1/2 inch cut fabric strips. So it's already ready to go for you. And so I actually got this a year ago and I still haven't made the jelly roll rug. I want to make one to go in here to the studio or the retreat center. I'm not sure which one yet. But that's what this is. So it's got the fusible on the back. So when you iron it, and you actually can do it for your quilts. You just iron it on there and you don't have to do the basting spray. And then we've got Tuscany wool, and I've used the wool, and oh my, it's so nice. It's not scratchy. I think she mentions in here that they do something that takes out any kind of scratchiness in it. They've got silk, so there's the silk batting. There is poly down, there's polyester, and then there's cotton wool. It's a cotton wool blend, so it's 80% cotton and 20% superwashed wool. Isn't that unusual? I thought that was a new one. And it says that one's great for wall hangings and bed quilts. So anyway, I wanted to say, if you haven't tried Hobbs, I've been using their stuff for a little bit and I've been really pleased with it. So I actually will be using their stuff with the new long arm when it gets here. So I wanted to share that with y'all tonight. Okay, well, friends, that's what we've got for Thread Life with Belle tonight. What am I working on? Well, I've kind of been working behind the scenes at my fabric collection. It's kind of been gangbusters, y'all, honestly. I have some deadlines on Friday. I have to have all my quilts patterns mocked up in the new collection. So I've been working on that, and also I've got those that have maybe clothing patterns and stuff, bag patterns that want to do a mock-up in the collection. They've got all that due to me. So anyway, I've been working on that, and then I've been working on my second fabric collection, and that will come out next, let's see, next spring. It'll come out to launch, and then it ships to fabric shops like summertime. And that is going to be super fun too. So we're trying to finish that up, and we're kind of in the middle of that. So anyway, there's some stuff I just can't show on social media yet, which kind of is a bummer because, you know, you're excited and you want to show those things, but you can't do it. All right, friends. Well, that is all for tonight on Thread Life with Belle. Thank you guys for being here with me. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything in here in the chat. Looks like we're all caught up here. All right. Okay, friends. Well, I think that's all that we've got for tonight. So be on the lookout for the next Thread Life with Belle, and then also for the Thread Masters. I'll be doing the tutorial for you guys. It's a private ones for members on how to make the quilt journal cover. We're going to make them together, and I'll show you how to customize it to any size book you have, or the composition notebooks where you can get them for $1 at the dollar store. And I'm excited to use this one this weekend for my Master Gardener class I'm doing. All right, friends, well, have a great Monday night. I'm actually going to get back to work on some stuff I've got to do on the computer. This was actually the highlight of my day because all day I've been at the computer. Yeah, which when I get a little cranky whenever I'm not sewing, like if I go for several days without sewing, it's a little bit hard. So anyway, thanks for being with me tonight, friends. And again, I appreciate all your support, and we will see you next time. So until next time, quilty friends, make lovely things.